This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mintz.
I can't think of anything, Roger said over the phone. You and half my fleet, replied Stephen Ashcroft, editor of Live magazine. The board have made it clear that my license will be pulled if we run another article written by artificial intelligence, he said. I have no inspiration left. AI has sucked it all up. Everything. What is the point of taking an image if someone can think up a picture on the spot and these computers can just beam them into everyone's eyeballs within a fraction of an instant? Roger complained. He was attempting to get paid without the inconvenience of having to perform his duties. He had a misguided sense that Stephen would allow him to experiment with the AI formula for an issue or two. That would save him having to leave the house and hit the pavement. The idea of Uber Eats for lunch was enticing. He hoped he had sold the idea to his boss. He was not much of a salesman. Spare me the sob story, Dalton, Stephen said. Get your slippers off and get your ass out there and find me what no one else can. Come the fuck on. You're Roger Dalton for Chris' sake. The Roger Dalton, the legend. Our readers would be shocked if they heard the way you are talking right now. You sound like a first-year loser, my friend, and I don't say that lightly. Stephen would say that lightly. He always jibed Roger on every phone call they had. Roger was supposed to have a series due at the end of the week. He had spent almost the last 8 days in bed with the occasional interruption for a bathroom break. He hadn't showered. He didn't know how bad he smelt. His beard was itching. It was a Wednesday. I haven't followed the brief, Steve, he replied. Are you serious? Stephen asked. I am. I'll tell you what I have been telling everyone who has been dragging the chain this week. Give me what I need by Friday or start looking for another place of employment, he said as he ended the call. Roger placed his mobile phone back on his bedside table. He hadn't had any plans to get out of bed, despite the phone call, despite it being midday. He looked beyond his bedroom, towards the split in the curtain where the sunlight streamed in. He could hear the hustle of the street below. It felt like a warm day with a lot of activity, exactly what he was avoiding. He didn't wish to witness the trappings of human activities, despite his job as a photographer for the nation's #1 lifestyle magazine. This was the sort of motivation that fueled his passion for the profession a decade ago. Now he was lucky to submit anything that interested him. His desire lay in the wait for slumber. Every day he woke up, he prayed for a quick day. All the faster to get him to slumberland. He should have stuck to being a paparazzo, he told himself. The pay was shit, but the expectations were low. He only ever partook once and was berated by Paul Newman. He didn't like being made an example by his heroes. He emerged from the apartment at 1:33 in the afternoon. It was hunger that drove him. He had his Pentax around his neck and a duffel over his shoulder. He wasn't sure if inspiration or luck would strike. Knowing his routine, he prayed for the latter. The deli was full, and the kitchen staff were not looking up from their cold meats. He waited impatiently for his turn at service. He made his discomfort known in his body language. A problem, pal? The owner asked. I can't get service, Roger complained. The others awaiting their sandwiches exchanged looks and frowns in his direction. You think we're sitting on our thumbs here? You can't be patient? The manager replied. I'm just hungry, that's all. The owner smiled. Roger smiled back. Now they were friends. Well, you've come to the right place, my friend. What can I get you? He asked as he removed a pencil from behind his ear and began to jot down Roger's order of a Reuben with mustard and coleslaw. Roger watched on as the troops began to prepare his sandwich. It was a group effort. One on the bottom loaf, spreading the butter, his partner adjacent on the mustard allocation, next to his colleague who handled the salads, and finished off by the final chain down the line, the closing piece of bread, who also acted as the slicer. Efficiency personified. The shop began to reduce in capacity within minutes. The sandwich orders were fulfilled in record time. Roger was holding his Reuben within 93 seconds. I have a question, he asked the manager, who was busy wiping down the benches after the lunchtime rush. I have an answer, the man replied, not looking up. You and your team ever had your photos taken? He inquired. What do you mean? Like for Instagram? My sister runs our account. Friend. We're not interested. Thank you, he said in a rush. Roger followed him out back. The sandwich team looked at one another in a panic. You can't be back here, one of them yelled. The manager turned to face Roger, his face in a scowl. What gives? Listen, I'm not talking about managing your social media, Roger explained. I'm a photographer and a journalist for Live magazine. Roger opened his duffel bag and removed the latest copy, the month of January. You take photos for Live, the manager said, looking at the cover. Yes, in fact, that's mine, Roger said, pointing at the image that adorned the sleeve. It was of the late filmmaker, David Lynch, sitting in a Los Angeles coffee shop, a bemused expression on his face. I took that picture and interviewed David Lynch for our latest issue. The manager handed back the magazine and looked Roger in the eye. So what do you want with me? Well, Roger began, we're not just a celebrity rag. We also do lifestyle pieces. I have never seen such efficiency in sandwich making as I have from watching you and your boys make my lunch. You aren't a franchise, are you? The manager shook his head. Nope. This place is my only baby and it's all my idea. I hired the guys and I came up with the recipes and the routine. The entire design is built on the idea of delicious and fast. That's why we called the place The Last Sandwich. Delicious and fast. It's the last place you'll ever want to buy a sandwich from because nowhere else will compare, he explained. The last place you'd want to buy a sandwich from? Roger asked. Yes, the manager confirmed. Roger smirked at the double entendre. I propose to snap you and your boys with my Pentax as you go through your lunchtime rush. I think this is the most unique place in the city, and you deserve to have your story broadcast to a large audience. I want you to let me do my thing around the place, uninterrupted, and I promise you a big, beautiful spread in the February issue, said Roger, holding out his hand to shake. I'm a Pulitzer winner. I know how to make a unique place look even more amazing. You are the first place in a long time that has made me wonder. What do you say? The manager continued to look him in the eye with skepticism. He glanced down at his palm. Despite his demeanor, he was won over by Roger's charm. You're my kind of man, finally someone who can see my vision, he said, shaking Roger's hand. The last place in the world you'd want to eat lunch, Roger said with a smile. Don't I know it, said the manager.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.